All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more thing about Roseanne Barr and Nick Cannon, all right? So being racist is not a good lifestyle choice. I'm sure you guys know. I mean, if you're not a celebrity, you can probably get away with it, right? Like, if you're not a celebrity, you can say things. People might say yes, no. Maybe they'll defend the person. Maybe they'll be like really adamant that that's rude. But you can pretty much get away with it. But as a celebrity, you have a responsibility to lead people and be kind of like a role model. So you have to be sharp on your mind. You have to be have a good mind. Now, I was watching an interview with Tom Arnold about Roseanne, and he was saying that Donald Trump's messages and all this stuff was making her mentally ill because she was kind of having a hard time with her mental state, and um, she was kind of like being kind of forced to feel that way because Donald Trump's messages and all that. But you know what? Donald Trump is going through enough as it is. I think he's getting a lot of hate messages too. But Donald Trump was not taken down to be a celebrity. He was also not taken down to be president. I'm not yet anyway. So he hasn't suffered it really, and his career is flourishing. So obviously he must not have done something as rude as Roseanne. But you're just like, this is crazy. All this stuff going on in the world, COVID-19, the things that people say. It's like, you know what? You have to say things that are responsible as a celebrity, especially. I mean, a lot of these celebrity people are rich, they have big houses, and they just say things out of the blue. And it's like, you know what? There's a lot of people that are struggling and that are having a hard time, and you can't just blurt out something you feel that's totally rude and uncalled for, and then you're like just saying it. It's like, you have to think about it. You can't just say it and just let it go. You have to think, how is this going to affect people? I mean, when you are someone that's a celebrity, you're oblivious to what's going on in the world. Really, you don't know. I mean, you have your riches and you have your nice home, and so you don't know what's going on, and you can't really say anything, unless you know you're going to be targeted for it, right? Like, Roseanne's going to say that comment. It's the rudest comment ever, by the way. So she's going to say that comment, and it's like, well, of course you're going to get, like, you live in a mansion probably somewhere. You live in like a beautiful home. Like, why are you even bothering saying that? Like, why would you say that? I mean, it's not like you have to, like, you were gonna have a show, like, all you had to do is just be good and not say anything, not rock the boat, and you did that. Like, and I mean, I'm not, I feel bad for her, like, she could have had the show and she would have done well, and she's a great actress. She's really funny. I love the show Roseanne. It's a great show. So I mean, you feel for someone like that. You're like, why would you waste your career on something like that, right? But I mean, if she feels that way, then maybe her jokes wouldn't be that funny. Like, I find people that are racist or say negative things. Not that well, obviously, I don't think racism is a good thing, right? So I find the people that are racist or whatever, or rude or whatever, don't have as many comments that are funny, or don't aren't good comedians, or aren't good models, or aren't good whatever. Like, I find people that are like that are not necessarily. I wouldn't judge anybody really. Like, I don't want to judge anybody. And maybe some people I know are like that. I don't know. I never asked them, but they never say it in front of me. But I mean, like, like, um, when you see someone that's racist, or you see someone that does those things, you think to yourself, like, that's a lower level of intelligence. Like, you're almost thinking to yourself, like, that's beneath what people should be like, right? Like, and then you kind of question their integrity, you kind of question their ability to think properly, you kind of question all these things because you're like, that's not how you live, right? Like, you have to be politically correct to some extent. I mean, sometimes you can say things that are a bit out there, but you have to be careful, and you have to make sure that you're not saying something that isn't true, right? Like Roseanne's comment, that's totally not true, right? Like, that's just so rude. Obviously, it's not true. It doesn't make any sense. But you're like, oh my God, like, how dare you? Like, you live in a mansion somewhere. and you just make this comment about all black people? Like, are you kidding me? But I mean, like I said, I mean, Roseanne's a very funny girl. She's had a great show. That the show Roseanne ran for a long time. I grew up watching that show. Um, so you're like, she's good as a comedian. She's funny. She's great. And and I guess you see that even celebrities have weaknesses. But you're just like, you know what? Like, I've never been rude. I've never been the type. I've always been kind of like the type of person that's like very friendly. My whole family's like this. Like, we're all very friendly. We don't judge unnecessarily. We don't get in anybody's way. We just would rather be busy ourselves than to get in anybody's way. We don't stir the pot in negative ways. We don't cause drama. We don't make people feel bad. We try not to, let our competitiveness get in the way or anything like that. But I mean, I feel my competitiveness is fine because I don't. The things that I do, I feel very good when I'm competing because I like competition, right? So for me, I'm very relaxed in competition, so I'm not worried about it. But so I mean, and of course, when you're trying to find a job or you're trying to do this or that, I'm very good at finding those things because I'm very competitive, but in a friendly way. I'm never going to be like, oh, I'm going to beat you to it, and I'm not going to say something like that. But I'm going to just try my best, and I'm very good at tuning people out when it comes to finding work or comes to being interviewed and there's like a competition. I'm very good at tuning people out, making sure that they're not in my way or that I even care what they're saying, that kind of thing. A lot of people are very competitive, and we live in a world where it's really competitive to an extreme sometimes, and you have to really be able to hold on to your skill set and manage to work with it. Now, I mean, my skill set is pretty good because I make a lot of videos, so I practice typing all the time, and I work in as a car salesman, so I work with paperwork and stuff like that. So because I'm always typing and stuff like that, it's easy for me to do paperwork because I'm typing constantly. I probably do a lot more work than even lawyers and doctors probably, or professors or other musicians, or even like people in the Navy. Some people do really hard work, but I mean, I do a lot of work because I do videos all day and then I work 40 hours a week. So I'm doing a ton of stuff all the time. So for me, it just seems like, competition comes naturally for me. I'm very lucky that I'm always practicing things. So I'm never out of the loop really. So for me, it's not a big deal, right? Like I'm very good at competing because I've just done a whole 8 hours worth of videos. So competing for a job is like a cinch, right? Like it's not that hard. When you've done 8 hours of videos, you've danced and posed and typed and uploaded and done all that. Then working in an office as a car salesman is easy. You just type away and you feel really at home. So for me, it's not a big deal. But yes, anyway, so the Roseanne Barr and then the Nick Cannon thing, right? Like Nick Cannon calls white people savages. Like obviously there's some white people that are terrible, but those people are not what white people are all about. You can't just say all white people are savages. It's gotten to the point of ridiculousness, right? Like Nick Cannon is very funny. He's in great shape. He does very well for himself. He's a funny guy. And to say something so dumb, not to say that it's dumb, but it's like, why would you, not to judge them or anything, but why would you do that when you have a show and you could be like a big star for the rest of your life, and you could do amazing things with your career that no one else can do, and you're just thinking you did that so that now you have no job, like you're unemployed and you had like success in a field where nobody gets a job, and you're like, and it's like nobody gets a job in that field because it's a hard job to get a career in music or a career in education, not in education, sorry, that's a hard job too, but to get a career in celebrityness, it's a hard job. You can't just do a job as a celebrity unless you get chosen. It's really hard to be selected, and you have to really work at it, and you have to be noticed, and you have to have a good presence, and all that. And if you get that job, you should hold on to it for dear life easily. If you're lucky enough to have that job in the first place, then chances are you're not going to lose it. But of course, they lost their jobs because they were so, I don't want to say they're dumb or anything, but that's not a very bright thing to do. Anyway, that's my spiel on that. I'm chocolate didn't come out too strong, but anyway, thank you. Okay, bye.